Sage, an herb for the wise. It's a member of the mint family. It's considered officially known as Salvia officinalis. It originated from the northern Mediterranean coast, where it was traditionally used for cooking. Italians are known to add flavor to veal with sage, and the French use it for sausages, stuffing, and cured meats. The herb's warm and musky essence also probably reminds you of homemade turkey dressing at Thanksgiving. It's a staple for Americans. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath. I love sharing natural remedies with people for better health. Natural remedies have been around for hundreds, even thousands of years because they work, and they work on humans. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that you like this video and give me a thumbs up and share it with others, and perhaps give me a comment or two. I love hearing from you. And if you subscribe and click on the little notification bell, you'll be sent an email saying that I'm going to be doing a class, and I do them about once a week. So if you've been watching my Health to Home videos or the Preppy Herbalist, the classes in 2021 have been focusing on single herbs that people know as culinary herbs, and that they may not necessarily know the benefits of using those culinary herbs. So sage is a wonderful herb for spicing up things. I think it's such an interesting herb. It's soft, much like mullein leaves. And if you look closely at this, it looks almost like it's being stitched around the sides of the leaves. So it's just a wonderful plant. It's a perennial, so once you have it, it keeps on growing. And even though it's part of the mint family, it doesn't have the mint characteristics where it'll pop up in unwanted areas. It pretty much stays in the area that you planted. It tends to become woody, and so you need to crop it. And that's great, because if you use it, then you're cropping it. So it's a fabulous herb for spicing up that Thanksgiving turkey, but I have used it in a lot of dishes and love the little bit of flavor, along with rosemary and thyme and the herbe de Provence, which adds in some lavender, and it's a lovely herb to cook with. I dried some of mine, and possibly can see the dried herb. And it really, now I dried this almost 2 years ago, so it's really, it really lasts in a tight jar like that. And you can spread it around. You can, we'll talk about using it as a potpourri in just a little bit, but it really is a wonderful herb, not only for culinary purposes, but for medicinal purposes as well. So for relieving headache and sore throat pain, you can actually just put some dried sage in a jar like that and smell it, and its aromatic benefits will help relieve a headache, especially if it's a congestive headache. You can put some in some warm water, strain it, and gargle with it, and swish it around. It is very beneficial for oral health, reducing oxidative stress in the body, protecting against free radical damage. Now, when you have free radical damage, that means it's the beginning of inflammation at a cellular level. There's some scientific evidence that it may lower bad cholesterol, reducing inflammation, protecting against bacterial and viral infections. It's high in zinc, so it is especially good for upper respiratory viral infections, but we'll see also in other viruses as well. So it may support healthy blood sugar levels. There's been some really good scientific evidence in that respect, supporting digestion, protecting against memory loss. And that's why we say sage for the wise, because it really has some affinity to support brain health. And it's been shown to be very helpful in mood, lifting the mood. And I think a lot of it is because it's what we call a cholagogue, which means that it has properties that support the liver and gallbladder. So according to Pubmed in folk medicine, Salvia officinalis has been used for the treatment of different kinds of disorders, including seizure, ulcers, gout, rheumatism, inflammation, dizziness, tremor, paralysis, diarrhea, and hyperglycemia or high blood sugar. In recent years, this plant has been a subject of intensive studies to document its traditional use and to find new biological effects. These studies have revealed a wide range of pharmacological activities for S. officinalis. What this means is that science has finally caught up to folk medicine. So as I mentioned, natural medicine has been around for centuries, and it has been used across America with our first Americans, and China and India, and of course, the Mediterranean or Europe. So many of the studies were done with herbal extract of sage. I put a link in the description below. So all you need to do is click on that little chevron. It'll open up the description, and then that will open up where I've placed the links. Now I have a link to where this lady shows you how to make an alcohol extract or a glycerin extract. I don't like to use alcohol extracts on children or recovering alcoholics. I love to use this glycerin type extract, and once you know the method of it, you can do this with any encapsulated herb. So basically, you need about 10 capsules, open them up. Last week, we talked about safflower, and you may want to make an extract of safflower to help with leg cramps. So basically, you use a double boiler, and you have to have glycerin. Now you want to get organic vegetable glycerin to make this with, but I hope that you visit the link that I have shown you, because these liquids seem to get right into the body so much quicker. So you can, and if you're using it for throat ailments or sore throat or upper respiratory, it's going to get there a lot faster than if you were having the difficulty of the stomach. So taking it in a capsule form is great for, if you're trying to work on the liver, if you're trying to work on digestion. But for upper respiratory, it's better to use something like this, or if you're using it for oral health. So in oral health, a lot of times we take the extract and we dump in a little bit of white oak bark, which is heavily astringent, and you can swish it around and support better gum health with the use of the white oak bark and sage. But, some people just simply don't like to take sage. They don't like the smell. They don't like the taste of it. And that's why Nature Sunshine invented capsules. That's right. Nature Sunshine was the first company to encapsulate herbs because they recognized that a lot of people simply don't like the taste of certain herbs. So even though it's used in some cooking, it's not palatable to everybody. So in healthy adults, sage has been shown to improve memory in low doses, and in higher doses, uh, it works to improve mood and increases alertness, calmness, and contentedness. So I'll leave a link to the study that I'm referring to in this. So it's wonderful to be able to know that there is something that can calm nerves and is safe enough that it's used as a food. So, relieving anxiety and nervous headaches and mild depression is really important. This has been a tough year and a half, and um, there's some signs of it's still being a struggle throughout 2021. So if you know of anybody who is having problems, then sage is a wonderful herb to take. And I'll leave a link in the description below where you can get a special coupon for 25% off. Sage contains rosmarinic acid, the constituent responsible for reducing perspiration. So it's great for women going through menopause and having those hot flashes or surges, and you want to diminish those and support healthy blood sugar levels. So sage's actions are typically realized within 2 hours, sometimes that quick after consuming. So it's really a wonderful aid. And if you take it regularly, it may help with these symptoms to decrease the symptoms. And so if if you're interested in taking it in capsule form, you can find that. Also, you can open the capsules and do the extract, making the extract. So you got a twofer on that one. So sage oil has been shown to exhibit antibacterial, antimicrobial, and antiviral activities against various pathogens. And it isn't gender specific. Some people say because it has, sage has estrogenic uh, qualities that it is for female use, but it isn't necessarily just used by women. Obviously, if you don't need the estrogenic effect, it won't happen. So I have a video in the description below where I show how to make a basic salve. And this is part of my video down here where I made a drawing salve with charcoal and white oak bark, and it helps to pull out toxins. But you can use the basic remedy for making a sage oil salve that is very beneficial. It can be put on any kind of an outbreak like a pox to calm it. So if you have chicken pox or anything like that, it can help calm that. And a lot of people go to calamine lotion, but there is a benefit to making your own antibacterial, antiviral salve that can be used in that. So I hope you're finding this video interesting, and we'll share it with other people who may have a need for learning about sage. And um, in, in Michigan here, it really does winter well. In fact, I was out the other day and moving aside the leaves. Some areas are still covered with snow, but where my sage is, there was just some leaves, and I was able to pull that away, and I could see some shoots coming up already. So it is a very healthy plant. You can cut it off at the so you've got maybe a 7-inch stem, and then you gather the base of the stem with some twine, and you can hang it and dry it like that. And you can put a bag around it. I prefer to put paper bags around my dried herbs, even though they may look pretty. I don't like them collecting dust if I'm going to use them as a salve or a tincture. So I will put a paper bag on it and then label it and poke some holes in it so it can breathe and dry. And then whenever I need it, I come back to it and I shake up the bag. And a lot of the dried leaves will just gather at the bottom of the bag, and then I can crush them and use them. So for me, that really works well. Other people just like hanging sprigs of lavender and sage um, along different areas to decorate. You've seen sage wreaths and lavender wreaths together. It really makes a beautiful wreath. Um, so there's a lot of uses for sage. It's easy to grow. I love putting it in turkey bone broth, and I'll link Mary's Nest has a wonderful video on making turkey bone broth, but I've used the dried herb or even the fresh in a little glass dish with dropping some citrus like lemon, orange, pink grapefruit, and it makes a really lovely potpourri. It's very easy to harvest. There's no thorns to pick you or anything like that. So it's a wonderful herb for so many uses. Um, Sage does like good full sun, and it likes the soil to drain well. But other than that, it's a relatively easy plant to grow. You can take cuttings from it, share it with other people. So another way that sage has been used, it's been bundled together like this, and then you burn one end of it. And the indigenous people, the North Native Americans, used to smudge their wigwams when somebody was sick to move the bad spirits. But people have smudged energy from homes where there's been a lot of heavy discourse or arguments or bad energy, and might be just for fun. Smudge your home. Some people use crystals and some people smudge. Maybe you could use both. But it's just a very easy thing to do, to tie some of the dried sage together and light one end of the bundle and swish it around and blow on the smoke and wish for a healthier home. So with all the benefits of sage, I hope that you add it in your culinary dishes or health regime, that you maybe even grow some. You can often find plants from the farmer's market. I've never seen it grown from seed. I've only seen it grown from the plants. It does have a beautiful purple spiked flower that comes from it. So I imagine it can be grown from seed, but I've only seen it as a plant. That's how I started mine. There are some cautions. It should be be a caution for people who are dealing with conditions of epilepsy, that you can use it in food, but it's not recommended to use in medicinal dosages for anybody dealing with epilepsy or pregnancy and lactating, because they just don't know. Some people have used it to dry up milk when they're weaning. So if you are nursing, you certainly don't want to use it inadvertently as a medicinal and accidentally dry up the milk supply. So if you need individual help, please email me, Dr. Mary at bornforhealth.com, and I will help you find resources or perhaps be able to answer some of your questions. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate it when people share health with others. It's a wonderful feeling when you've been able to help somebody else. So get control of your health by taking natural remedies whenever possible. If something is serious, of course, you need to talk with your doctor. But you know, this thing about talking to your doctor about herbs, to me, would be like asking a plumber for an electrical problem. If they don't really know a whole lot about herbs, it would be better to go to somebody who knows both pharmacological aspects of the herbs and how they interface with uh, different uh, medications. So I want to thank you for viewing. Until next time, this is Dr. Mary for the health of it. And I hope that you use special foods for your concerns, and that you go out and make this a great day.